Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu. Good morning to all the students, and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 23rd of September 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. So watch this video till last. But I am requesting you all the students that you can download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After that, you can log in with the email ID and click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but we are covering 90 to 95% of that current affair which can come in every type of exam. This is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three type of things. One is the detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Most important section is the monthly, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, best 100 current affair of the month, and the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liner and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise these type of current affair in quick format before your exam. But to enhance your performance further, we are providing topic wise current affair, and we are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. So if you want to revise particular topic, then you can use this topic wise PDF. And if you are a banking student, we are providing three things. One is the detail, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section. But all these three things only related to banking and economy. And you can attempt this quiz on our application on monthly basis. If you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021 just from single PDF, then you can use this exam PDF. We are also providing detailed budget and economic survey, also expected question and answer related to budget and economic survey, so that you can recall that examiner can make these type of questions from budget and economic survey. If you are appearing for your respective state exam, we are covering state current affair also, and the most important thing, we are covering every state and union territory. So all these things comes under only one subscription. We are not providing different subscriptions. We are providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application from the description box link, log in with the email ID, then click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but if you're a new student, you are just starting your preparation, I'm just advising you to subscribe for 2 years, because there is very less price difference between the 1 year subscription and 2 year subscription. But on both subscriptions, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. If you have any query, you can email us or you can call us on this number or email ID. So let's start today's current affair, 23rd of September 2021. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And you can join our Telegram group for the official notifications from description box. Here is the first question in the most important question section. Who has been appointed as the Chief of Indian Air Force? Most important question. We are talking about Chief of the Indian Air Force. So answer of this question is V.R. Chaudhary. A is the answer. So he will succeed the current Chief of Air Staff. Current Chief of Air Staff is Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhaduria ji, or you can say Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria, who will retire on 30th of September 2021. And what is the full name of V.R. Chaudhary? You can also see here the picture of V.R. Chaudhary, who become the next Chief of Indian Air Force. And you can see here the full name is Vivek Ram Chaudhary. You have to remember the full name. He is an expert in major MiG-29 flight aircraft or the fighter aircraft, and V.R. Chaudhary is a recipient of very famous awards in the you can say defense sector. One is Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vayu Sena Vishisht Medal. So these are very famous awards, especially in the Air Force category. So he also served as the Chief of the Western Air Command, and he is currently serving as the Vice Chief of Air Staff. So that's why he was promoted now to Chief of the Indian Air Force. So you can also remember, and he has experience of flying for more than 3,800 hours on the fighter and the trainer aircraft, including missions flown during operations like Meghdut operation. Meghdut operation, the Air Force sport to capture the Siachen Glacier in 1980s. This is Meghdut operation. And Operation Safed Sagar. The sport provided by the Indian Air Force during the Kargil conflict in 1999. So this is Safed Sagar. So you have to remember all these important things about IAF chief VR Chaudhary. So remember, very important name and most important appointment. Next, these appointments are again very important. Like you can see here, S.N. Ghormade. So the full name is Vice Admiral S.N. Ghormade. He was recently appointed as Vice Chief of Naval Staff. Vice Chief of Naval Staff. Next is Ravneet Singh. Again, Vice Admiral Ravneet Singh. He was appointed as Deputy Chief of Naval Staff. Deputy Chief of Naval Staff. So don't confuse. Ghormade ji appointed as Vice Chief of Naval Staff and Ravneet Singh appointed as Deputy Chief of Naval Staff. Tarun Kumar Chawla, Lieutenant General or the Lieutenant General Tarun Kumar Chawla, he was recently appointed as Director General of Artillery. Director General of Artillery. So you can remember this, very important appointments. Moving to next question. Who has been conferred with the Sustainable Development Goal Progress Award? Again, very important award because it is related to Sustainable Development Goals, which are total 17, and total time period of Sustainable Development Goals are 2015 to 30. We have to achieve these 17 goals by the year of 2030. And answer of this question is the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and Prime Minister of Bangladesh is Sheikh Hasina. So answer of this question is C. You can also see here Sheikh Hasina here, and she received SDG Progress Award, and it is for the Bangladesh steady progress in the achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 in number. And this award is given by United Nations sponsored Sustainable Development Solution Network. And Sustainable Development Goals are basically to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all. So this is the motive of the Sustainable Development Goals. And remember what Bangladesh President is Abdul Hamid. Abdul Hamid, capital is Dhaka, currency is Taka. So you can also remember this. But other awards are again very famous here. Qaboos bin Sayyid Al Sayyid, late Sultan of Oman, you can say, and he recently received posthumously Gandhi Peace Prize. Gandhi Peace Prize, but it is for the year of 2019. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman also received Gandhi Peace Prize, but it is for the year of 2020. Rumana Sehgal, very important, and Rumana Sehgal received the Nelson Mandela Award. Nelson Mandela Award, or you can say Nelson Mandela World Humanitarian Award for 2021. It is given by Diplomatic Mission Global Peace, but you don't have to remember. Just remember Nelson Mandela World Humanitarian Award 2021 goes to Rumana Sehgal. Moving to next question. Which Indian beach recently received the Blue Flag certification? Again, very important certification for the clean beaches. It is known as Blue Flag certification. And two beaches from India recently received this Blue Flag certification. One is Kovalam Beach, second is Aden Beach. But you can remember Kovalam Beach and Aden Beach. So answer of this question is both A and C. D is the answer. So you can see here, two more Indian beaches get international Blue Flag certification. One is the Kovalam Beach, second is the Aden Beach. And where is this Kovalam Beach? Kovalam Beach is in Tamil Nadu and Aden Beach is in Puducherry. So you can also remember. And this Blue Flag certification is given by the Foundation for Environment Education, which is situated in Denmark. So you can remember this is the organization which is in Denmark known as FEE. And they also reissued or recertified Indian 8 beaches. Like I am writing here so that you can recall. One is Shivrajpur Beach, it is in Gujarat. Next is Gohogla Beach, it is in Diu, Daman and Diu. Next is Kasar Kod, it is in Karnataka. Next is Padubidri, this is also in Karnataka. So 4 we covered. Next is Rushikonda, very famous, Rushikonda Beach, it is in Andhra Pradesh. Next is Golden Beach, again very famous, Golden Beach in Odisha. Radhanagar Beach, it is in Andaman and Nicobar. And last one is Kappad Beach is in Kerala. So these 8 beaches already have Blue Flag certification, but now they provided recertification for these 8 nominated beaches. So these were awarded the Blue Flag certification in 2020. Now they again awarded in 2021, and 2 more added. One is the Kovalam in Tamil Nadu, second is the Aden Beach in Puducherry. So you have to remember all these, and with a prime objective to protect, conserve the pristine coastal and the marine ecosystem, this Blue Flag certification is provided. So remember, Indian government also started one program which is known as BEAM. Remember, BEAMS. BEAMS stand for Beach Environmental and aesthetics management services. It restored and nourished sand dune in 95,000 square kilometer with native plantation. It reduced marine litter by 85% and marine plastic by 78% under this BEAM program, and it helped to improve cleanliness level from C to A++. C is the poor level and A++ is the outstanding level. And you can also remember about this Blue Flag certification. The Blue Flag is one of the world's most recognized voluntary award for beaches, marines, or you can say sustainable boating tourism operators. It is issued by FEE. This organization is important. This is the Foundation of Environmental Education, and this is Denmark-based organization. And international jury comprising of members like IUCN, WNTO, United Nations Environment Program, UNESCO, and so many organizations awarded Blue Flag certification to these beaches. It was started in, you can say 1987. This organization was started in 1987, but it got the international recognition in 2001. But it was started in 1987. So you have to remember, now India has total 10 beaches who has Blue Flag certification. Moving to next question. Which country became the full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Earlier, SCO has 8 members, but now with the addition of this new member, total member countries are now 9. So answer of this question is Iran. Iran is now become the full-time member. Earlier, Iran was observer of the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So you can see here, Iran gets full Shanghai Cooperation Organization member. So now total members become 9. And you can also remember about SCO here. Like Iran has appointed as the 9th permanent member state of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization at 21st meeting of the SCO Council of Heads in Tajikistan, because you can remember Tajikistan has 2021 chairmanship of SCO, and prior to getting this permanent membership of SCO, Iran was one of the observer member states of SCO. Total 4 observers are there, and Iran received this observer status in the year of 2005. Now Iran gets the permanent status, but earlier Iran has observer status, and they get this observer status in 2005. So remember about SCO. It is a permanent intergovernmental international organization formed in 2001 in Shanghai, China, and total permanent members are 8, now 9, including Iran. So permanent members are like India is there, Pakistan is there, both gets the permanent membership in 2017, and Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, these are the 4 Central Asian countries. Russia is there, China is there. So these are the 8 countries earlier to Iran. Now Iran is added, so total 9 countries are member. Now observer are 3 countries. One is Afghanistan is observer now, Belarus and Mongolia. So these are the observer countries under the SCO. So you have to remember, because they are only 3. And remember about Iran, capital is Tehran, and president is Ibrahim Raisi. Currency is Iranian Rial. Moving to next question. So all the most important questions we covered. Now we are moving to very important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and join a Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Which company becomes India's first steel company to commission carbon capture and utilization plant in which city? So you have to answer me 2 things. One is the name of the company, second, name of the place where this India's first steel company to commission carbon capture and utilization plant. And answer of this question is Tata Steel is the name of the company, and exact place is Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. So you can remember, answer of this question is C. So Tata Steel Limited becomes India's first steel company to commission a 5 tons per day carbon capture and utilization plant in its Jamshedpur unit or in Jharkhand unit. So Tata Steel commissions India's first plant to capture carbon dioxide from the direct blast furnace. And you can also see here it works with the technological support from Carbon Clean. This is the name of the organization, Carbon Clean. Carbon Clean is a global leader in low-cost carbon dioxide capture technology. And this facility extracts the carbon directly from the blast furnace gas through the amine-based technology. And this facility extracts the carbon dioxide directly from the blast furnace through the amine-based technology, and then the depleted carbon dioxide is sent back to the gas network with the increased calorific value. And the development is an effort to tackle the climate change and global warming. So you have to just remember, it is Tata Steel, first steel company who will capture the carbon dioxide directly from the blast furnace, and it is in the Jamshedpur unit of Tata Steel in Jharkhand. So remember this thing. Moving to next question. 33rd session of the UNESCO's Man and the Biosphere Program, which is also known as MAB, was held in which country? So it was first time happened in African country, and the answer of this question is very simple. It is Nigeria. So we are talking about African country. So Nigeria is there, and it is first time that it was held in the African continent. So you can see here UNESCO adds 20 new sites to the World Network of Biosphere Reserves, because during this program 20 new sites in 21 countries were added to the World Network of Biosphere Reserve. So now total sites all over world are 727. Total biosphere reserves according to UNESCO are 727, and total countries they covered 131 countries they covered. So you can also see here very important thing you can remember, because recently they declared Amazon of Europe. Amazon of Europe. We covered this question in the most important section. Amazon of Europe. This is the 5 countries biosphere reserve. 5 country biosphere reserve, which is known as Mura, Drava, and Danube. Danube. These are the name of 3 rivers in the Europe. Mura, Drave, and you can say Danube, and it becomes the first man and biosphere reserve site to be co-managed by 5 countries, because it lies in the 5 countries. One is Austria. You have to remember the name of the countries: Austria, Croatia or Croatia, Hungary, Serbia, and Slovenia. So you can remember these 5 country name, because these are very, very important. And you can also remember about UNESCO here. UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. It was established in 1945. Its headquarters is in Paris, and its director general is Audrey Azoulay. So, but you have to remember this Amazon of Europe. This is most important. Moving to next question. Who will be the head of the National Steering Committee for the development of the National Curriculum Framework? So again, very important question, because this this committee, or this you can say steering committee, is constituted by Ministry of Education, and it is a 12-member committee. And answer of this question is K. Kasturirangan. So very important. And K. Kasturirangan committee also formulated the National Education Policy of 2020. You can also remember, because this is the most important policy of the 2020. National Education Policy of 2020 was also recommended by the K. Kasturirangan committee. And currently our education system is following the 4th National Curriculum Framework that was published in NCERT in 2005. We are following this 4th NCERT 2005 curriculum. So the committee will also consider the state curriculum frameworks, and will also hold discussions with some experts, scholars, educationalists, etc. for the development of the above mentioned framework. So they have to develop the national curriculum. So you can also see here the picture of Kasturirangan. Ministry of Education, that is Dharmendra Pradhan, forms a national steering committee for the development of national curriculum framework. So you can remember, development of national curriculum framework also lies with the National Education Policy of 2020, and the tenure of this steering committee is 3 years, and it serves as the guidelines for the syllabus, textbook, teaching, and the learning practices in India. So just remember the name of the committee here. But you can also remember the other committees which are recently appointed, like Dr. V.K. Pal committee. This was established by Niti Aayog, and this is expert committee on the vaccine administration. NS Vishwanathan committee. Banking student, please clear this, because this is very important. This is established by RBI, and it is for the urban cooperative banks. Usha Throat committee, again very important for the banking students, because this is again established by RBI, and it is a 20-member advisory committee on the mutual funds. Moving to next question. A book titled Shining Sikh Youth of India, authored by whom? So very famous, you can say, author, because he has written 2 books earlier. One is the prominent Sikhs of India, and second book he wrote, Prominent Sikhs of USA. Prominent Sikhs of India and Prominent Sikhs of USA. Earlier he wrote these books. Now he wrote Shining Sikh Youth of India. So similar kind of books, and the name is Dr. Prableen Singh. So B is the answer. So you can also see here Dr. Prableen Singh here, and you can also see here a very important person like Rajnath Singh ji is here, and the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh ji released this book titled Shining Sikh Youth of India. In New Delhi, and it is authored by Dr. Prableen Singh as a part of the commemoration of the 400th anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Who was the 9th Sikh Guru. And the book covers 100 inspirational and motivational success stories of Sikh youth in India, of their exemplary work in their respective field. And I already told you that he already wrote 2 books. One is The Prominent Six of India and The Prominent Six of USA. So you can also remember these books. So Manan Bhatt, very famous author, he wrote very famous book Balakot Air Strike. Balakot Air Strike. And this is how India avenged Pulwama. Next is Arundhati Roy, very famous author, again wrote Azadi, Freedom, Fascism and Fiction. Freedom, Fascism and Fiction. Bharat Kumar, basically Air Marshal, retired Bharat Kumar, he wrote a book, The Epic Battle of Longewala. The Epic Battle of Longewala. Again, very important. So these books are very, very important and authors are simultaneously important. Moving to next question. Which state signed memorandum of understanding with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for Agricultural Development? So remember this organization or NGO, this is Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It is for the agriculture development of the state, and answer of this question is Odisha. So D is the answer. So remember, it is to enhance partnership to support sustainable and inclusive agricultural transformation in the state of Odisha. So the main objective is to strengthen agricultural programs with efficient technology, support and expert, and to advise high impact innovation and bring sustainable production. It means Bill and Melinda Gates will provide some funding and will provide some sustainable development for the agriculture. And even Odisha also tie up with the UNICEF, that is United Nations International Children Emergency Fund, and one of the organization which is known as CPR, Center for Policy Research, for urban rural convergence on the fecal sludge and the septage management and the plastic waste management, or you can say in simple words, for the sanitation facilities in the village around urban areas. So you have to remember these two tie-ups. One is with the Bill and Melinda Gates for the agricultural development, and second is for the second is with the UNICEF and the Center for Policy Research for the urban development or the sanitation facility in the urban areas. So the main objective is to strengthen the sanitation facility in the villages around urban areas. So these type of initiative will enhance the decentralization system in the state by making Panchayati Raj institutions and the urban local bodies to implement provisions of preventing river and the groundwater pollution. So it is for the rural development. One is for the agriculture with Bill and Melinda Gates, and UNICEF for the urban development, especially for the sanitation facility. Moving to next question, and you can also remember about Odisha here. Odisha Chief Minister is Naveen Patnaik. Remember Naveen Patnaik. And who is the governor of Odisha? Ganeshi Lal. Ganeshi Lal. And you can also remember very important national park is there, Bhitar Kanika National Park. Bhitar Kanika National Park, very important national park. Simli Pal Biosphere Reserve or the national park also in Odisha. So you can remember this very important thing. And remember about UNICEF here also. UNICEF, very important organization. Its headquarters is in New York. New York. It was established in 1946 on 11th of December. And 11th of December every year celebrated as UNICEF Day. And its head is Henrietta Fore. Henrietta Fore. Moving to next question. Justin Trudeau won the third term as the Prime Minister of Canada, and he belongs to which political party? Again, very important question, and he belongs to Liberal Party. So answer of this question is A. So Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, leader of the Liberal Party since 2013, won the third term as the Prime Minister of Canada by winning 2021 Canadian federal election, but failed to secure absolute majority. Absolute majority. Because for the absolute majority they have to win 170 seats, but they are now under 158 seats. So the Liberal Party won the election with 158 seats, needed 170 seats for the majority, for the absolute majority in the House of Commons. And the main opposition party is Conservative Party, and Conservative Party won 119 seats. 119 seats. And also you can remember very important thing that 17 Indian origin candidates, including New Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh and Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan have won this election. 17 Indians won this election. And Justin Trudeau, you can remember, has been serving as the Prime Minister of Canada since November 2015. And he became the second youngest Prime Minister in the Canadian history after Joe Clark. Joe Clark, when he became the Prime Minister, he was just 39 years old. And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was 43 years old when he became the Prime Minister in 2015. So you can remember that he is the second youngest Prime Minister in the Canadian history. First was the Joe Clark. Moving to next question, you can also see here very handsome man, Justin Trudeau, once historic third term as the Canadian Prime Minister. Now we are moving to next question. It is, how that fantasy sports platform signed which person as the brand ambassador? So you have to remember this house at, it is a fantasy sports platform and they signed Suresh Raina as the brand ambassador. So answer of this question is C. So how's that fantasy sports platform? It is a product of Jungly Games, has signed former Indian international cricketer Suresh Raina as its brand ambassador to promote its brand among the sports lovers across India. You can also see here Suresh Raina, and with this partnership with Suresh Raina, how's that aims to attract cricket fans to the platform and become the most rewarding fantasy sports app in India. And this brand also endorsed former Indian international cricketer, one is the Yuvraj Singh and Irfan Pathan, also the brand ambassador of this company. So you can remember this, and remember these very important players like Mirabai Channu is here. She recently become the brand ambassador of Amway Company. Amway Company. So very famous company. MS Dhoni, he recently become the first brand ambassador of Home Lane Company. Home Lane Company. Narayan Karthikeyan, very famous Formula 1 driver, and he become the brand ambassador of JK Tyre. JK Tyre. So remember. Moving to next question. Which company was selected as the national business correspondent for the State Bank of India? Especially for the banking students, I am covering this question. So answer of this question is BLS International Services. So BLS International Services Limited was selected as the national business correspondent for the State Bank of India to deliver banking services in urban, semi-urban and the rural areas across India. So the main objective is to support the financial inclusion mission of the government by providing banking services to the underserved and the unserved people of India. And you can also remember one company which is known as Starfin India. So this is also one of the subsidiary of BLS International Services. They also become the national business correspondent of the Punjab National Bank as well as of the Bank of Baroda to support the financial inclusion mission. It will deliver banking services in the rural area and the urban area. So remember, Starfin, who is the fully owned subsidiary of BLS International Services, also the business correspondent of Punjab National Bank as well as the Bank of Baroda. So remember about SBI, I think all the students know this. It was established in 1955 on the 1st of July. Headquarters is in Mumbai and chairman is Dinesh Kumar Khara. Dinesh Kumar Khara. Moving to next question, you can also see here BLS International Services has been selected as the national business correspondent for the SBI. So we are moving to the important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform and join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the first. What is the theme of World Rhino Day 2021? Very important day. So remember, World Rhino Day is celebrated every year. Every year. On which day it is celebrated? On 22nd of September every year. And the main theme is keep the five alive. Why we are talking about five? Because there are 5 species of rhino. So that's why keep the 5 alive. So answer of this question is D. So it is just to create awareness about all the 5 species of the rhino and to recognize the efforts taken toward the conservation of rhino. Like 5 species are like one great one-horned rhino. You can also see here. 5 species are greater one-horned rhino. Second is the Javan rhino, white rhino, black rhino, and Sumatran rhino. So you can remember like great one-horned rhino is basically found in India and Nepal. Especially you can remember Kaziranga National Park. Next, you can say Sumatran rhino. It is basically found in the Sumatran Island or the Borneo Island. And Java rhino is found only in one protected area of the island of Java. That's why they are known as the Javan rhino. And next is the white and the black rhino. So the theme is keep the 5 these species alive. And in 2011, the World Rhino Day was observed globally. First time it was observed globally. And what is the meaning of this rhino, sirs? Rhino means nose. Rhino means nose, and seros means horn. So you can remember nose, horn. So this is the meaning of rhinoceros. So you can remember this. So the day is very important, 22nd of September, World Rhino Day. And what is the theme? Keep the 5 alive. But other days are again here very important, like you can see here, their survival is in our hands. So this is the theme of Global Tiger Day. Global Tiger Day or International Tiger Day, which was observed on 29th of July 2021. Rebuild Better Together. This was the theme of International Day for Cooperatives. International Day for Cooperatives, which was celebrated on 3rd of July 2021. Reimagine, recreate and restore. This was the theme of World Environment Day, which was celebrated on 5th of June 2021. Again, very important. Reimagine, recreate and restore. So now we are moving to next, and it is again one day. It is known as World Rose Day. It is again celebrated on 22nd of September. So why World Rose Day is celebrated? It is to honor and provide hope for the people who are suffering from cancer. And the day also aims to create awareness about early identification and prevention of cancer, which can save much, you can say, malignancy. And World Rose Day was first observed to honor the memory of Melinda Rose. Melinda Rose. This is the name of a person, a 12-year-old, basically, you can say, old cancer patient who died in 1996 due to a skin tumor, a rare form of blood cancer. So you can just remember it is with the name of Melinda Rose, who was just 12-year-old and who died in 1996 due to blood cancer. So that's why this day is celebrated with the name World Rose Day, and it is 22nd of September, and it is for the people, for providing hope for the people who are suffering from cancer. So now we are moving to one-liner important point, and here is the point. Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated 2 new defense office complexes in New Delhi, and the new complexes are constructed using new and sustainable construction technology, and the new complexes will accommodate around 7,000 officials from the Ministry of Defense and the armed forces, including Army, Navy and the Air. And these 2 complexes are situated in the Kasturba Gandhi Marg, and second is the Africa Avenue in New Delhi. Next, countries to invest on the small and medium scale farmers to address nutrition disparity. It is IFAD report. So to resolve the global issue of nutritional disparities, countries should invest more on the nature based farming. So they have to provide incentives to the small and medium scale farmers, and it will play critical role in reducing rural poverty and increasing malnutrition security. And as per the Rural Development Report 2021, so this is under the Rural Development Report of 2021, which is presented by United Nations Organization IFAD. It is International Fund for Agriculture Development. International Fund for Agriculture Development. It was established in 1977. Its headquarters is in Rome, Italy. Next, OECD cut India's financial year 22 GDP growth forecast to 9.7%. 9.7%. Earlier they predicted 9.9%, but now this is 9.7%. And they also predicted for the 2023 OECD. This is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So for 2022, financial year 2021-22, it is 9.7%, and for 2023 they predicted 7.9%. So you can remember. And OECD headquarters is in Paris, France. And next is Asian Development Bank cut the India's GDP growth forecast to 10%. Earlier they predicted 11%, but due to COVID-19 impact, they now forecasted for 10%. And you can also remember about Asian Development Bank, headquarters is in Manila, Philippines. Next is World Car Free Day 2021, also observed on the 22nd of September. It is to encourage motorists across the globe to give up their vehicles for a day and experience streets free of motor vehicle or motor traffic. And the day also highlights the benefit of going car free and adopting alternative transportation such as walking, you can say biking, public transportation, hybrid vehicle travel or car pooling. So this is the main to reduce the vehicle pollution. Next, government extended Kotak's tenure as the board member of IL and FS. So the union government has extended the term of Uday Kotak, who is currently the director and the chief executive officer of Kotak Mahindra Bank, as the non-executive chairman of infrastructure leasing. IL stands for infrastructure leasing and FS stands for financial services by another 6 months. So they extended this time period for 6 months. Uday Kotak has to retire, or his time period has to expire on 2nd of October, but now it will expire on April 2022. So remember, it is Uday Kotak. Next, ISRO to develop reusable GSLV Mk3 launch vehicle. So this is very important because the Indian Space Research Organization is working on the development of a technology which will enable ISRO to land GSLV Mk3 launch vehicles vertically. So this will allow ISRO to reuse the GSLV Mk3 launch vehicles and save money. So it is now under developed stage, but when it will be developed, we will definitely cover this question. So moving to the question of the day, what was the question of 22nd of September 2021? Which is the first bank to introduce internet banking? Very simple question. Internet banking was firstly introduced by ICICI Bank and it was introduced in 1994. 1994. Earlier we covered the question saving account. Saving account first started by Presidency Bank in 1833. Now we are talking about internet banking. It was started by ICICI Bank in 1994. Again similar type of question. Which is the first bank to introduce check system in India? So you have to tell me answer only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. And please like this video, share this video as maximum as possible and subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. Join this Telegram channel from the description box and press this bell button for the official notification. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. Definitely, you can subscribe a current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy like this smiley. Thank you guys. Take care and bye-bye.